Hello and welcome to the very beginning of the beginning of 2026. Welcome to your energetic forecast for the week of March 1st through the 7th, 2026. Hello, if you are joining me live, let me know you are here. Say hello. Can we all just take a deep breath and be excited that February is over? I know I am. I'm really excited for March energy. March is going to bring in this new, very grounded, very structured, very solid energy, which we have not been experiencing over January and February. Hello, Kendra, on your way to a concert. How fun is that? I love it. Well, welcome. So I'm going to start off today by talking a little bit about March energy and what we can expect as we shift from February to March. We're moving from a 3 energy, which is very mental. It is an amplifier. It's a creative engine. And we're shifting out of that into the 4 energy, which is very physical, very grounded, very structured, and what I like to call the Clydesdale of getting shit done. But we want to make sure that we're getting the right things done in March and not trying to build 12 million things that go nowhere. The 4 is really about longevity, and it is about playing the long game. It's about that whole, the cliche, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I don't know, I can't run a marathon, nor can I sprint, so I don't know why we're trying to do either of those, but that 4 energy just wants you to be solid, grounded, take one step at a time, and to really focus on building what is appropriate for you, for your life, for what you're building. Not what somebody is telling you you should do, not what somebody is telling you is probably the right thing based off of your goals or anything else. It's really about paying attention to what your body is saying, your intuition is telling you, and then getting the support and structure that you need to create that. So as an example, I'm going after a big goal. I'm getting married in October. And before I get married, I intend to bring $250K cash into my business. March is about setting up the structures and the system and the long game strategy to make that happen. It's not about hitting the ground running March 1st. Oh my God, I'm going to make a whole bunch of money and trying to figure out how and trying to control it and trying to force myself for 6 months to show up and do things when what I could be doing is to really focus on this is what's going to hold those pieces as that money starts coming through. This is going to help me build the capacity to create the sales, support the clients, build the structure, all of those things. So this is the energy of March. Hello, Timothy. Nice to see you. March energy is going to feel a hell of a lot different than February. And I, for one, am very excited about that. But I want you to remember as you lean into March that you do not need to know how to build it all. You do not need to control anything. And it's really about having patience. Now, I am a ruling number 4. So that 4 energy shows up in my experience all the time. And what I know for sure about 4s is that we tend to be people pleasers. We tend to want to bow down and hold responsibility for everything, even when it's not always our responsibility. My notorious go-to statement for my mom for years was, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Is there anything I can do for you?" And that's not our responsibility. So we want to make sure that you're taking responsibility for what's appropriate for you and having boundaries around what's not necessary for you to move forward. And I cannot stress this enough. Long game thinking, long-term strategy, capacity building. So we are moving into a 6-month window. This is not just about March, my friends. So let me break it down for you. I'm going to look at the yearly energy, then I'm going to drop down into a little bit more detail about March and give you kind of a look at what the week is going to be like so that you can understand how to set yourself up for the maximum ROI on your week, on your business activities, on your life, all the things. So in 2026, we're experiencing this 1 energy, and this 1 is very much a physical number, but it is about new beginnings from a place of wisdom, not new beginnings like I'm starting all over and I don't fucking know anything. It's more about this. I understand so much now that now I'd like to wipe the slate clean and build from this new version of me, this new identity, to lead myself in ways that I've maybe not led before, and to take myself to places I've never been before. So that would be things like maybe you're going on an adventure this year. Maybe you are going after a revenue goal this year. I, for one, am getting married this year. So there's lots of different things that are new that are going to require a level of leadership that maybe you've never done before. I've never been married before, so how do I know, right? So there's all these new experiences that we're leaning into, and that requires us to do things differently than we've ever done them before. It means that we don't have all the answers. It means if you're trying to recreate things that from things that you did 9 years ago, it's going to be really uncomfortable, because we're not meant to be doing that. We're meant to be building from a new perspective, a new identity, a new way of being and showing up in the world. And none of us know how to do that. So we're all in this place of being babies, perhaps, new learners, this sense of curiosity, this sense of the unknown. And so if 2026 has felt a little bit like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, good. That's exactly what it's supposed to be feeling like. And the one wants us to take action even though we don't know. The one wants us to take the action before you have the answers and to figure it out along the way. This means leading yourself first, making decisions without having proof that it's going to work, and taking the action and finding out, does this work? Does it not work? Do I like it? Do I not like it? It's like the first time I ever joined a gym. Let's just say that it didn't work out. But I hate the gym. I can't stand the gym. Send me outside. I will run around and I will go walking and I will go to the beach and I will be active, but do not put me in a box and make me do things in a gym. It just doesn't work for me. I'm too much of an adventurer to be able to do that. But I remember the first time I ever joined a gym, I was like, yeah, obviously I'm committing to this. I'm going to go in. I'm going to do this. I never stepped foot in that gym. The energy of the one is saying, go try things without necessarily having to commit to a full year membership. Don't do what I did. All right, so March. As I mentioned, March energy is that 4 energy. It is very structured and grounded. If you think about a table has 4 legs, a chair has 4 legs. It's very solid. It's very stable. When a chair or a table only has 3 legs, easier to tip over, right? Well, the 4 doesn't want anything to tip over, which is a great thing if it supports you. It's not a good thing if it's been something that hasn't been supporting you and you are stubbornly fucking hanging on to it. So this could be things like maybe you've always posted content in this one way and this is the way I've always done it, and so therefore I'm just gonna keep fucking doing it. But the 4 gets stuck in a rut and it gets bored. And instead of looking up and going, oh my God, look at all the opportunities. I could be doing it this way or that way, and maybe what if I did that? The 4 doesn't usually do that unless you consciously step up and fucking do it. And so what happens is that 4 energy just keeps on plodding along. And pretty soon it's bored out of its fucking mind. You're still beating your head against the wall, getting the exact same results that you've always gotten, and wondering why everyone else seems to have it all figured out. Or you could consciously choose to only pick the structures that support you and let go of the ones that are boring, have you stuck in a rut, have you confused, have you in the mundane, right? Because that 4 energy is just getting shit done, doing the things that are right in front of it, not paying attention. So in March, pay the fuck attention. Pretty simple, right? The 4 energy also wants us to pay attention to our body. Now, if you are here and you're like, yeah, but I'm not intuitive, that's a bunch of hoo-ha. That is a load of crap. Every single human being on the planet is intuitive. You just maybe haven't been listening to it. And your body is the first thing to speak to you. The body always knows the answer. If you are trying to make a decision and you're a little bit stuck and you're waffling back and forth and you're like, I don't know, should I do this? Should I not? Your brain is trying to make a decision, making pros and cons lists, trying to think about all the things that could go wrong, all the things that could go right. Meanwhile, your body is either leaning in, saying, let's fucking do this, or leaning back saying, mm-mm. And most of you aren't paying attention to your body. March asks you to pay attention to your body because your body will be speaking to you very loudly about what systems and structures support you and which ones don't. As a ruling number 4, recovered workaholic, I used to sit in front of my desk taking responsibility for everyone and everything for 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. How do you feel like my back felt after that, right? The 4 energy takes responsibility and carries all the weight of the world on their shoulders. And so if you notice that your back is bothering you, especially upper shoulders, time to take a break. Pay attention to your body. Your body is going to speak to you so much louder in the month of March. Use that to your advantage. All right, so let's break this down for the week of March 1st through 7th. If you are inside the Daily Digits membership, you're going to see your daily breakdown, exact tangible steps to make every single day of the week, March 1st through 7th, including that total lunar eclipse. You've got your content prompts, you've got your revenue actions, you've got all of your reflections and energetic actions. Those are the things that you can do. If you are not yet inside the Daily Digits membership, I really don't know what you're doing with your life. That is the place where you activate this over the long term and maximize the ROI on your life and your business. But for those of you who are just checking this out and seeing what this whole energetic translation shit is all about, here's what you can focus on this week. First things first. March brings in this new wave of energy that's going to feel very, very different from February. It's going to be a little bit jarring at the beginning of the week. So give yourself some space at the beginning of the week to adjust, because we're going from mental thinking, amplification energy, creation energy to now, what are you going to fucking do about it energy? And it's going to be a little bit like, whoa, okay, now I actually have to take action on the dream. Gotcha. Okay, so now it's time to actually create space in your calendar for March to actually get shit done. Stop thinking about it, stop dreaming about it, stop journaling about it, and just fucking do it. This is very grounded, solid, steady movement forward. And we begin the week with this full moon total eclipse in Virgo energy. It's very grounded. It's like, stop fucking around, stop thinking about it. Let's just go do it. And we're setting ourselves up for the next 6 months. So please don't take this lightly. Don't forget, we're also in Mercury retrograde. Now, Mercury retrograde this season is very much about our intuition. It's about our relationships and how we connect. It's about seeing things through the illusion, things that we maybe haven't seen before, or we just weren't paying attention to before. That's probably more likely. And in that, we have this ability to really see the truth of things, to see through the bullshit. Your bullshit meter is going to be very high. Through the illusion that's being presented to us in all ways, shapes, and forms. And so pay attention to what's right for you. This week is about setting yourself up for you. You're in the driver's seat of your life. You are the one responsible for what you create, how you create it, what your results are. You are responsible for it, so take responsibility for it. If you are loving what you're seeing in your life right now, double down. If you're not, adjust accordingly. Because the only one who can change your circumstances is you. And that 4 energy of March is really going to bring that to the forefront this time around. Now, like I said, there's going to be a lot of attention on the body and on our intuitive nudges. So start paying attention. If you're not already doing that, really focus on that. Create space all week long to listen, to take care of and nurture the messenger that is your body. Hydrate, eat good food, fuel your body. Because for me, I told this to my clients a while ago. I went to a racetrack here locally And it was a race day for anybody who had supercars. And they had a McLaren and they had an Aston Martin. Now, I am a Ferrari girl. If you know anything about me, I'm a red Ferrari all the way. But there wasn't one there that day. And so I was looking and I was immediately drawn to the McLaren. The McLaren was the thing. I was like, oh, that is such a pretty car. I love that car. And the Aston Martin, I was like, yeah, that's nice. I like it. So we had the opportunity to actually sit in the car, and I got into the McLaren and I was like, this is the most uncomfortable, awful thing. I do not fit in this car. I don't like this car. Instantly, I was like, apparently I'm not a McLaren girl. Who knew? I always thought whenever I see a McLaren, I'm like, Then I went and sat in the Aston Martin. And it was literally like putting on a silk glove. Instantly, I was like, I fit in this car. And it was so perfect. And I now identify as an Aston Martin. But what kind of fuel do you put in an Aston Martin? You do not put cheap, shitty fuel in an Aston Martin. You are driving to the premium pumps and you are happy to pay the extra to put premium fuel in that fucking car. What do you think your body is? Premium fuel, my friends, premium fuel. Now, this doesn't mean you need to go and break your bank account to buy organic food and all the things, but eat some vegetables, drink water, stop drinking shitty sodas and things like that, right? Just take care of yourself. It doesn't have to be this big grand thing where all of a sudden you change all your habits. I am a huge fan of a big old steak and a glass of wine. Don't get me wrong. But there is a way to nurture your body in a way that fuels it for your intuition to speak to you louder. So do more of that. Now, set yourself up for that all week long. At the end of the week, there's a window of opportunity to break the rules. You know, I'm a fan of that. To fuck the status quo and to reclaim your self-expression. Whatever that looks like, how you're creating content, how you're cooking meals, how you are sharing your voice, your opinions. And instead of thinking you need to filter yourself in any way to please other people, just start expressing yourself the way you desire. Oh my gosh, I am excited for this week. Okay, my friends, I